Today we're going to be making some shrimp fried rice.
So before you think about making any sort of fried rice, the first thing you're going to want to get is a rice cooker. I personally got the cheapest one from Kroger. And as you can see, it says warm and cook. And to cook rice, all you got to do is, do that. And it starts cooking, and then when it's done, it says it's going to warm mode. And then the fried rice is done. So there you go, rice cooker. If you don't have one, just go to a store, get the cheapest one. You don't have to spend money on an expensive rice cooker. Next thing you're gonna want to get is, my rice of choice is jasmine rice. I'd recommend getting the cheapest rice possible. It's not really a big deal if you get a different type of rice, but I choose jasmine rice because it's the way I was taught. And obviously choose the cheapest rice per pound, otherwise you're wasting your money. And if you're only going to make fried rice one time, get a small bag, no big deal. Next thing you're going to want to get is your first source of protein, which my choice is always eggs. You can choose as many eggs as you want. I recommend putting at least 4, but you can put 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 eggs, doesn't really matter. But get a thing of eggs. Next thing is your second choice of protein. It can be any sort of meat, but I love this type of shrimp. It's raw shrimp. Never get the pre-cooked shrimp if you're going to make shrimp fried rice, because pre-cooked shrimp sucks, and it's just pre-cooked. It's usually drier, but if you can see right here, it needs to say peeled, devied. I've never made fried rice with tail because, I'm lazy. So just get it pre-detailed. And then I highly recommend getting the biggest shrimp possible because it's just better. But don't get too big of shrimp, otherwise it might not cook properly. But if you get like small shrimp, just put the whole bag in there. You can kind of pick and choose. But I definitely lean more towards the heavy side of, if you're going to get, meat, put a lot of meat, you won't regret it. But you can also get like pork, beef, but I love shrimp fried rice. It's usually a little bit more expensive, but it's worth it in the end. The next thing you're going to want to get is an onion. I choose this onion. It can be any onion. It can be a sweet onion. It can be a red onion. But I choose this onion because it was cheap. And it works. It's all going to cook down to onion. Next thing you're going to want to get is carrots. Specifically, baby cut carrots. Because they're easy, they're already mostly cut. And if you get big carrots, you just have to cut it more, and I'm lazy. So, baby cut carrots, like I said, buy it the cheapest per pound. That's why I got the, store brand. Next thing is your oils. My oil of choice is avocado oil. Some people might prefer olive oil, but I choose avocado oil because it looks fancier, it's healthier for you, and at the end of the day you're going to buy a big bottle, so you might as well go big or go home. And the next thing is soy sauce. Now, don't get too confused. Don't spend a bunch of money on the expensive soy sauce because it's literally just liquid salt. Now, if you see the light soy sauce, that's a scam. Get the regular soy sauce. You can put less in it and have soy sauce. It's like I said, it's literally just liquid salt. So pick and choose, pick the cheapest one, pick the store brand. I feel like all soy sauce tastes the same. It's literally just putting salt in your meal. Next thing is corn. You can either pick this type of corn. I choose It's corn whole kernel. I chose this one because it was the cheapest. And yep, this is the cheapest. You can also choose the baby corn, which some buffets use it. Chinese buffets. You can see that it works the same. Next thing, ground black pepper. You probably have this. It doesn't really matter. Just put some pepper. It's for the eggs. Don't know why you put it in there, but I was taught that's how you make it. Next thing, America's favorite item, white sugar. Yep, like I said, for this, once again, get the cheapest one. It's sugar. So yeah, that's about it. You know, you got your rice cooker. Just if you don't have a rice cooker, don't make fried rice. Don't even think about making rice until you get a rice cooker. I paid $20 for this. Don't get an expensive rice cooker. Get the cheapest one because it's one purpose right here. See this? See this? See this button? There's one button. It's to cook rice. It's very simple. I mean, they even give you a scoop inside of this rice cooker. See this? See this scoop right here? It's this scoop. It's a pre-scoop. And inside of the rice cooker, you know, it comes with a glass lid. But you have these little markings on the inside. If you can see, this is 1 cup, 2 cup, 3 cup. You know, if you're gonna make a lot of rice, make 3 cups. If you're gonna make a little bit of rice, put 2 cups. If you put 1 cup, don't even bother with it. Also, you know, get a pan, get a decent sized pan. Not this type of pan, but get one with, you know, high walls. Get the biggest pan possible. You will actually hate yourself, and you might cry if you get a small pan. So yeah, just that type of stuff. And you know, for this rice I made in the video, it's actually just Great Value jasmine rice, but I'm almost out, so I got this new one because it looked better in the video. But yeah, just stay tuned for the next part. It's just me cooking the rice and chopping things and cool stuff, you know. Okay, now on to the cool stuff I was talking about. This is actually the second time I've had to record this because my microphone actually just didn't record it last time for some reason. But first things first, always wash all vegetables. Everything that you get from the supermarket, make sure you wash it. Here in this clip, you see me cutting these baby carrots in half long ways and also in half the short ways. So just make sure you cut them in half. If you have full carrots in there, it's all right, but it doesn't really absorb all of those delicious juices nice and good. As you can see, I'm very good at aiming all of these carrots into this bowl that I have. So I'm just gonna pick up all of these carrot pieces that I missed from the cutting board. But just, you know, make sure you cut your carrots nice and in half twice so they're nice and good. Now we're on to the rice cooker part. I have this rice that's cooked. It takes about 18 minutes for rice to cook in this specific rice cooker. I put 2 cups of rice for this whole rice thing. If I were to redo it, I'd put 3 cups because I already ate all of the rice. This is an onion, just a sweet onion. I now attempt to cut this here, but I noticed that I actually forgot to wash this onion, so now I'm able to cut it a little bit better. But there's another thing I forgot. I forgot to peel off some more of the onion skin, which is why this onion was so unnecessarily hard to cut. That's what that last cut was for. So you're gonna want to cut your onion in half like this, and then you're gonna grab all of the onion and put it inside of the same bowl with the carrots, because later in this we're gonna be putting this whole bowl into the frying pan so it can fry, so the onions get nice and yellow. One part that I actually forgot to do is mix the rice so it's, you know, less clumped together so it can air out. One thing I highly recommend is you can put it in the fridge as well, but that's optional. I got some corn here. I chose whole kernel corn. One thing I don't like is automated can openers. They're not too great because they never work for me, but just remember, always wash your corn. Here's a nice shot of eggs. Make sure you just, you know, at least have 4 eggs like I said. Now here's the nice shot, you know, nice slow-mo. But now we're on to this part. You got to get some light soy sauce, ground black pepper. You're going to have some avocado oil because you're fancy and it's healthier. Make sure you turn your heat to medium to high. You don't get it too high, otherwise you will burn your house down. Now we're going to put in a smidgen of avocado oil. Let that heat up before we put in those onions and carrots. It takes about this long for the oil to heat up. Just, you know, yeah, we're just going to wait here for this oil to heat up real quick. Getting nice and hot. Now it's steaming. It's almost there. I didn't get to show you this random clip of shrimp. It was pre-chilled. And, you know, you got to put in the onion and carrots into the frying pan. I have a timer started at the bottom. This is just how long it took me for the full cooking process. It's all edited down. But you're going to want to cook well, not cook, but you're going to want to simmer the onion until it gets a little bit yellow. You don't want to burn it. The most important part is constantly mixing this stuff. I noticed at the end of this whole cooking thing, the rice actually burned to the bottom of the pan, which was painful. But after it gets golden yellow, the onion, you're going to want to put the rice in there. If the rice was chilled, it would be a little bit better, but like I said, sometimes I notice a difference, sometimes I don't. So, make sure you get all of the rice in there, and then you're going to want to stir it as quick as possible after you get the rice in there, because you don't want anything to burn. You got to mix it up. And then after that, you got to put some soy sauce. I think I put a little bit too much soy sauce, but in the end, it actually turned out very good. This is actually the light soy sauce, so really it's less salty, which I think that's why I put more, but the light soy sauce actually turned out darker than the regular soy sauce, which was very weird to me. And after you put in the light soy sauce, you're gonna, here's just a shot of sugar. I actually don't know what order I put this in. I'm just kind of commentating it and seeing what happens. But, there's some sugar. Like I said, always make sure you're constantly mixing it. I didn't mix it enough. As you can see, I stopped certain points in here, which, yes, sometimes you have to add ingredients and also move the camera around in order to get this nice slow-mo shot, which is why I stopped mixing it. But in order to make perfect fried rice, you're going to want to constantly mix that stuff up because you want it to be evenly cooked. Now, after that slow-mo shot ended, you're just going to want to mix it a little bit more. And by this point, I'm looking for the corn on the table that I have, and I am going to pour it in now as we go. You got to pour in all the corn. Make sure you get it all out of the bottom, otherwise you don't want to waste that 50 cents that you spent on the corn. Make sure you mix it up all nice and good. Mixing it's the most important part, especially when you add the shrimp, because the shrimp can be very easy to burn. So you're going to want to constantly mix it with the shrimp, because if you bury the shrimp into the fried rice, the shrimp will cook very, evenly. And shrimp is actually very easy to make, unlike, I guess, what some people think, because I don't really see many people making shrimp, but you're just going to want to let it cook here. I don't know why I stopped mixing it. You should really mix it, even if you're adding in stuff. Just constantly mixing it is key. I added some avocado oil because I thought it was getting dry, and if you could see right there, for half a second the fried rice is already burning to the bottom of the pan, which is terrible. But as you can see right there, I added some sugar right before the next step, which is actually making a spot for the eggs, because you want to get that sugar nice and mixed in before you do the eggs. For whatever reason, I've noticed that's just the best order to do it. Now right here, you're not going to mix any of the actual fried rice. Sometimes a little bit burn gives it a little bit of taste, so that's good. You're going to put some avocado oil in before the eggs so that they just don't stick. But right here I did get a piece of shells, stuck into the eggs. And right here I did put in 6 eggs for this whole batch of fried rice. 6 eggs, 2 cups of rice, and, half a bag of that thing of shrimp that I got. But in just a second, I'm going to get some soy sauce. And the thing I've heard is if you put about 10 drops of soy sauce into the eggs, you don't want to put enough to where it actually changes the color of the eggs too much. But you want to put enough to where that soy sauce does get mixed into the eggs before they start cooking. Next, I'm going to put some black pepper, just because that's the way I was taught. I don't really understand the full way, but at the end of the day, this fried rice turned out amazing. Just make sure you mix the eggs to where those egg yolks are nice and smooth. Now I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you get a nice shot of these eggs cooking. And you don't want to mix the eggs too much. You just want to let them do their thing. As you can see, they're going to grow a little by little. And you're going to mix it periodically, but you'll know about when they're ready. It's when they look like this. Then you're just going to mix everything together. Like I said, mixing is the most important part, just to make sure that stuff doesn't get burned. You want everything to cook thoroughly. You want everything to be thorough. And right here is actually the first taste test I do for the whole video. I just, you want to make sure you do periodic taste testing to make sure that soy sauce doesn't overpower the fried rice taste. The amount of sugar I put is purely personal taste, but just remember, once you put it in, you can't take it out. So don't overdo it. Go little by little. It takes some finesse to get this stuff right. but I keep going back and forth and adding sugar and tasting it to get that perfect taste. But right here is the finished product of the shrimp fried rice, and now we're just gonna watch me eat this rice. So I just made me a plate of this fried rice, and you know, it's got one piece of shrimp out of all of my shrimp that I put in there, so that's all right. It's actually a bigger shrimp than I got last time. I actually made this one time before, and it had like mini baby shrimp, but I highly recommend getting the biggest shrimp possible because shrimp is super easy to make. And I put the rest inside of this bowl for later because you can, you know, put this in the fridge after it cools down, and it's very good. I mean, it'll last me like 2, 3, 4 days if you really, you know, munch on it. But yeah, the jasmine rice with the shrimp, corn, onions, carrots, soy sauce, sugar, it's very easy to make fried rice. And yeah, so let me just show you my reaction to this awesome meal. So like I just said, I just got a spoonful of this. You know, it's got one piece of shrimp, carrot, corn, jasmine rice. That's some good stuff. But I mean, you know, very easy to make. Took me less than 30 minutes. And it'll last 3 to 4 days, and it's super cheap. It's not even comparable. I mean, you put eggs and shrimp for the actual protein, and then you have the jasmine rice, which is very easy to make. Just make sure you wash the rice first. I've noticed that it actually cooks a little bit better. And then the soy sauce, I'd actually recommend getting, instead of the light soy sauce that I got, I would get the regular soy sauce, any brand. It all tastes the same. It's just salt, like liquid salt essentially. You get the sugar, you put it inside of the actual fried rice, and you know, try and balance it out between the soy sauce and the sugar so it gets a good taste. I actually like my fried rice a little bit on the sweeter end. That's why you saw me put more and more and more sugar. You know, it's not like super sweet, but it's less. I don't like it too salty, but who knows? I've not made it to where I like, you know, a salty type yet. But yeah, that's how I make fried rice, or at least shrimp fried rice. So there's other types. You got pork, beef, you know, pork, beef, shrimp, just any type of fried rice. And yeah, I mean, it's all pretty easy to make and cheap too. So yeah, that's about it.